Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Raynday Gaming. My name is Raynday, and today we're going to be taking a look at Thanatos, the Greek Hand of Death. He's a pretty fun god, a melee physical assassin with high sustain and average difficulty in terms of picking him up and playing. But I gotta say that he's a little tougher than he may seem on the exterior. He's got a kind of a complicated kit, so I'm going to uncomplicate it for you and let you know exactly what you need to be doing to be successful with Thanatos. He's a really ability-powered god. What does that mean, ability-powered god? Well, it means that most of his damage, most of the things that he does comes through using his abilities rather than his auto attacks or basic attacks. This is kind of unlike a lot of assassins, as you might find most of them actually dealing most of their damage late game, mid game, and early game with their basic attacks because they're just so strong and they build more towards a basic attack kind of build. Now, Thanatos traditionally doesn't, but that's where this video gets interesting. You're gonna see us actually building Thanatos today in a way that does support him being a basic attack god. However, it's not because I think that is the only way you can use him and be successful. I think he is relatively average in comparison to Kali and some of the other late game assassins you might be able to pick up instead of him when you're choosing your assassin on your team. However, I think he does bring a lot to the table. He's a fun god to play, and of course some people just like the way he looks. I mean, he had that amazing Archon skin, so why not pick up this god if you're really into the aesthetics of the game, not too much worried about being a professional or a casual player. You just want to play a god that you like. So that's what this guide's all about, helping you to do better with him. Let's hopefully get an Amir freeze here because Amir's got a lot of potential for us to do well. So does Alpwatch, a lot of control. Loki is a double assassin, so we got a double assassin team going on, so we might not be as great in terms of initiation as we'd like to be, but we will be able to follow up if we can get them down to a critical level. Looks like I'm the one taking care of the minions right now. I'll go ahead and use my Death Scythe here. Not my Death Scythe, it's my Silence. I don't know what it's called. Soul Reap to finish that off and continue leveling up our number one, our Death Scythe, because that is his best ability by far. Now, let's talk about what his abilities are. Let's talk about his passive, Harvester of Souls. But let's first get into this fight because it looks like good things are happening here. It looks like that Poseidon is about to go down. I'm losing Cobb. Throwing his ultimate. He's picked up, so he's got his ultimate back in 15 seconds. I'm going to go up into the air. I don't think we have enough. I think I'm going to have to retreat from this fight, unfortunately. They've got 4v2. I just don't have enough health to be able to do anything. Fortunately, I wasn't big of a factor in this fight. I was hoping for the execute, but we didn't quite get them past my current threshold level. Let's bring it back, and let's talk now again about his passive. It's called Harvester of Souls. What will happen is, as the Hand of Death, of course, he's going to be harvesting some souls. But of course, Death always plays that tricky game with you. The guy down there in charge, whether it be Hades, whether it be Lucifer, whatever you think, he always plays the tricky game, and you think you're getting something, but you got to give something up. And so you have to give a portion of your health to use every single one of Thanatos' abilities. We're body blocking here. Way too much area of effect damage from the Anubis. But let's see if we can get a little poke. We can. He's looking. I'm looking. We're all looking here. Everyone's looking. Definitely don't want to get caught there. I don't want to give them an early game lead. They already got 3-1. I want to stay safe. But I want to see if I can stay around to get a kill and pick somebody off with a long-range Death Scythe. So, like I said, you have to use 5% and sometimes 10% if you're talking about your ultimate of your maximum health to actually cast your ability. So, not only are you using mana, you're using life force. I mean, gosh, that is a tall price to pay. So, his abilities better be worth it. And guess what? They are. They're so worth it that I think they undercompromised in terms of him being, able to stick with some other gods. They just made his abilities so good in different ways that he's not your traditional assassin, and for that reason, he doesn't necessarily fit the role well enough. And one of the biggest things you'll notice is Thanatos doesn't have a jump. He doesn't have a dash, doesn't have a jump, and so it's very hard for him to stick to targets. This build will correct for some of that, but it won't correct for all of that. You're just going to have to be you're going to have to get into a good position. Let's anticipate the Poseidon going there. We did. We got him. The chalk is here. The silence won't come up enough. We're going to get that kill. We're going to pull out. We've got full health still. We're still in the fight. This can go our way, guys. Who do you want to pick? I think I'm losing Cobb. Oh, can we get both of them? Can we get... Yes, we go down on the... Yes, we go ahead and pick him up. We'll use our 2 to escape. I'm losing Cobb's coming after us, but it's not enough. I'm definitely dodging in case he's got his ultimate up. Don't want to get hit by that, and we get out. So we've 1-0-3, got a couple assists there, and we are now 4-3 in this game. Things are going well. And let's finish talking about, like I said, his passive. So you got to give something and get something. However, with this passive, what it also does is allows you to really have a deceptive amount of lifesteal and healing. The great thing about it is that it's deceptive in the fact that it only happens after you kill someone. And I'm glad no one was following up on Sylvanas here. We get a free Death Scythe to the face for him. We'll take it. Definitely get some healing back for us. They've pressured and it looks like taking that damage buff. We're 5-3 now. Looks like the game is shifting our direction, which is wonderful. As you can see, my ability is doing a ton of damage there. Basic attacks trying to keep up. And it looks like that Anubis should be GG. The Agni's coming in, looking for the silence. I've been silenced. No good in that fight at this point. We'll go ahead and add that extra damage. See if we can push the minions. And let's go ahead and take speed. Looking to keep ourselves alive here with this speed camp. Just getting a little bit of extra experience. We'll add our number 2 to give us some penetration. Of course, that's taking away my health. But it's worth a speed buff, guys. Come on, it's worth a speed buff. Jeez Louise. What else? What isn't worth a speed buff? I don't know. I don't know many things that aren't worth a speed buff. Now, I told you he doesn't have a dash, but one of the things you can do in this build is actually buy Frostbound Hammer here. What it'll do is it'll give you a lot of really good stats for Thanatos. It'll give you health, it'll give you physical power, and it'll also help you keep people locked in because it will reduce their movement speed by 30% and their attack speed by 15% for 2 seconds. So in terms of boxing and in terms of keeping someone near you enough to finish them off, this is a great item. Now, it's not necessarily seen quite often, so I don't want to make you guys think that this is a popular or by any means the accepted meta, but this is something I've found to work for me. You got to go with what works for you. I've played Thanatos a lot lately, and I've just been having issues keeping up with some people. Now, what it still means, the caveat is you still want to make sure you're using your abilities primarily to cause most of your damage and make the biggest impact. Oh, and you'll see my ultimate in action here, guys. Bam! And we just executed. That's a full-on execute. What that means is he's just dead. That's it. Execution. Oh, and Chalk tried for the silence. Didn't get me. I'm still here with my abilities. Not that they'll do much right now. And we're going to head back. I've got myself a second kill. I'm going to go ahead and pick up. Not quite enough yet, but we can actually stay in order to get that. It looks like not much is happening. We'll stay in order to get that second part of the Frostbound Hammer. Notice the second part actually does give you a 15% slow for 2 seconds, but if you stay for this, you get the full 30% slow and the attack speed slow, which is pretty important as well. Just defensively slowing them down so they're not just auto-attacking you, pew-pewing you to death, as we like to say in video game speak. Oh, Chalk, you fool. Eat my rubber scythe. Come on, freeze. Freeze. I'm here. Thank you. Come on. Poseidon coming, gotta pull out. Reposition. Amuse Cobb focusing me. Let's throw the scythe on him. Oh, we missed. A mere freeze, could have had him. Mere freeze, I would have gone up in the air. But it's probably a good thing that I didn't because Anubis was there. Full mana, full health, and I'm about half health now. So I'm gonna go back and just play it safe. We're still down by 10, surprisingly, but we're up in gold and we're up in kills. So we're going the right direction, but unfortunately, it's just not getting there as fast as we want. Now, this is where this build veers off, and we're going to go into more of a crit damage build here. The reason being is because, like I said, Thanatos is a very strong ability-powered god, but I just find that you have enough with Jotunn's Wrath. You have enough cooldown with that 25% cooldown that's now from Jotunn's Wrath, so I don't feel like I need my abilities up more necessarily than I have them. The other thing is, what happens is when you're put in this position with another very strong team, bam! Look at that throw, baby. When you're put in this position, Moose and Cobb. Moose and Cobb. Oh. Sucks. That sucks so much. Death Scythe. Oh, man. I wanted it. I wanted it bad. I wanted it so bad. But we're 3-0. We feel good. Slowly getting more and more kills, and that's the thing you can do with Thanatos. The great thing about Thanatos, guys, is that because he's got that execute, you could slowly just find yourself, and sooner or later it's going to be 5-0. You know, if you just play it safe, if you don't do anything crazy, even though he's got a strong early game, what you'll be able to do is put yourself in a position where you're just... Oh, we've got the Death Scythe on Anubis. He's got to be thinking twice. He's got to be thinking twice. And now you notice, if you guys can hear the audio here. There we go. We'll go ahead and finish that off. And they're not even going to follow me. So we're 4-0. I don't even want that. I really don't care that much. You don't want it either. Trust me. Let's go back to the center here. Buffs are up. This damage buff is important, guys. I think we got to be careful here. See, I don't want to get pulled. That's the thing. As long as nobody's coming. No ult coming out. That's all we really care about. Now that Sylvanas is kind of out of the fight, nothing big there that happened. They didn't even take their damage buff. They just denied us from it. I'll take blue. Who cares? Blue, who cares? What I'll do is give me a little bit more cooldown reduction. And that's actually a good thing for Thanatos, so why not? If it's there's nothing else. We don't have damage. None of the other buffs are up. Might as well take it. It's just, you know, situational. Obviously, you don't want blue buff on him. That's not maximizing him. But we're 4-0-4. And like I say, guys, just slowly creeping into having an excellent game. And that's one of those things with those executes, with your good positioning, you can really do. And the long range with Death Scythe. So let's talk about Death Scythe, which is super, super important. Oh, the other part about his passive that I didn't mention, guys, is that it reduces your cooldowns when you kill someone. And when you kill someone, you get like 10% health back. Or 20% health back, depending on if it's a god or if it's a... Oh, shoot. Let's go ahead and let's... There we go. Uh-oh. This could be it. Yep. That was it for me, unfortunately. So, you know, you get 20% if you kill an enemy god, 10% if you kill a minion, and a 5-second reduction in your cooldowns. And that's one of the things that's deceptive about him, because you can be in a fight, he goes up, he kills one player, and suddenly he's got 20% of their max HP back in terms of life. Now, let alone you add that with Death Scythe, and you get 75% healing based on the damage you deal. Well, what kind of damage are you dealing with Death Scythe? What does that even mean, right? Well, let's look at it this way, so you guys can take a look. Death Scythe does 380 damage plus a percentage of your power. So that's right now 461 damage that I'm doing, okay? 461 damage. We are not yet... Oh, you threw your thing in the wrong way, buddy. You should have thrown it the other way. So it's doing that, and it's bonus 10% of max HP of the god hit. And this is why it becomes more about abilities rather than how fast you're attacking, because it's just a flat 10%. It's kind of like a Soul Reaver proc almost, but it's just automatic with this ability, which makes it so strong. You're automatically taking 10% of their max health off for sure, and that's a great thing about it. And you're healing 75% of the damage you deal, which can be insane late game. It can really change a fight. And also, you talk about swings. This puts you in a position where you could be deathly low, almost about to be killed. Throw that on them, and you've taken away a ton of their health, probably 500 health plus 10% of their maximum HP, and you've gained 75% of that in terms of health. Now, wow, they're thinking I was just about to win this fight, and now I need to retreat big time. That's something that will really put a lot of people in a conundrum, you know, and cause a lot of issues for them. Now, let's see if we can make it to the back line here on this Anubis. Let's double pressure this Anubis here. Let's throw our number 2, and we'll finish that off with a kill. I think we throw this up, but can we get out? Oh, and we used our ultimate. No! Oh, that was the worst possible thing that could have happened. We procced our ultimate, and we still died. Very unfortunate. And the game is tied. We're up in kills, but we are just... I think it's because they have a very strong team in terms of presence. But this Amuzin Cobb needs to go for sure. He has killed me, I believe, twice. That is not going to be working for me this game, guys. I am not in the mood to be killed by Amuzin Cobb twice. All right. Let me take some of these souls here. Let's make up for it. And let's start moving very quickly. You guys notice how fast I am moving. Let's go ahead and take care of that. Let's go ahead and take care of that. And we might have to take care of this Poseidon if he sticks around. And he's not. He is not sticking around. Now, that was an accident grabbing that blue buff because there was speed right here. But it's okay. We're okay now. And hey, we've got mana, right? We've got mana. So now we've finally taken a tick advantage that's about 20, which is good. I think that's representational. Let's go ahead for the Poseidon. Oh, what a throw! Did you guys see that? Snipes! I'm using Cobb. You've done enough. Chalk, you've done enough. Thank you for your service. You've done enough, Sylvanas. You've done enough. Y'all have all done enough. And now, what are we, guys? 9-2. Let me tell you, Thanatos can really turn a game. But again, it's that patient play. But that 4-0 start, it's so hard for enemy teams to try and combat that, guys. Because especially you're getting those executes, they're so safe. They're so safe. But again, it takes patient play to get yourself in a position. You cannot rush with Thanatos. He is a very terrible god if he's able to get locked down, which is why if you have any hint of aggression from the enemy team, please go do yourself a favor and get beads. Don't worry about your damage. Remember, he's an ability powered base god, so the damage is not going to be that. Oh, we forced the Sylvanas ult. He's got nothing much happening. Oh, and Sylvanas, we've had enough of that. Oh, never mind. Oh, dear God. Oh, the snipe. Oh, my goodness. The snipe. Welcome to Raynday Gaming. We are having some fun over here today. And let's talk about his number 2, the scent of death. Thanatos smells death, right? Oh, were you going with your Poseidon? Is that the whole point of what you're trying to do? Oh, almost had him. I anticipated the drawback. He clearly must have his Kraken, otherwise he wouldn't be so aggressive. Wow, Anubis went and just took him out. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Drizzy Drake impression, Raynday Gaming Drizzy Drake impression. Oh man, not again. I'm just kidding. Anyways, back to the Scent of Death. Scent of Death, Thanatos senses death, gaining immunity to slow effects. This will take you out of slow effects. If you're slowed, you can pop this and you'll have it for 6 seconds. It'll also grant you some increased penetration, which is amazing. And it'll also have you move super fast. I mean, this is really, really insanely fast moving stuff. Oh my God, the amusing Cobb really just letting him wail on me. That was not a smart move by me, guys. Really not a smart move. I'm down for 21 seconds now. So what'll happen is you'll get movement speed, 30% and 35 penetration, which is great. You don't have to worry about some of those penetration items you might be wanting to get on other gods because he's got that naturally. But if you're moving towards someone who has their little thing beeping, it'll sound like a heartbeat in your headphones or on your speakers. What that means is that you will gain an extra potentially 30% movement speed if you're moving towards them. You cannot be moving like this or in their direction. You have to be moving literally towards them, and you will get that bonus speed, and you will be moving so fast. Thanatos' number 3 is called Soul Reap, and what that does is it's helpful in clearing waves, but it's also really helpful in terms of getting that last-minute poke, and also that 1.5 second silence, which means it actually silences your enemies. So if you're escaping, it is a good tool. However, the issue with it and being an escape tool is that you do slow down when you cast it. It even says that in the tooltip. So Amusin Cobb is pretty much not my favorite god, and I want to go ahead and take him out. And we will. There we go. And of course, hovering death. He hovers, flaps his wings, ascends for 5 seconds, unable to be hit, although you can take damage if you have damage over time on you, and then you go ahead and kill people. Now, the thing is, this threshold right here is what determines whether they are killable or not. You move at 150% speed, and you stun anyone who you land on for 1 second. So again, if they're under 40% of their maximum health, you can kill them. It's a very effective way to finish people off and get yourself into the game slowly, but still safely. That's one of the things with Thanatos. Safety first, guys. Seriously, buckle up when you're playing this guy because he's a great guy. He can get a ton of kills, but most of my games, I'm near kills and deaths. This was a fantastic showcase of what he can do if you play effectively. And of course, this build I find really works nicely. You're critting for quite a lot, and your abilities still do quite a bit of damage, and they do enough so that you are constantly hitting hard and closing people off if you're able to land that death scythe from a distance, or go ahead and silence them and run up with your number 2 activated and then hit them a couple of times. One of the best combos I've found is to use your number 3, actually activate your number 2, use your number 3 to silence someone, go and hit them a couple times, and then throw your number 1 before they can escape. Now, if they have a dash, you have your ultimate ready so you can jump up and follow them, which means they will have used their dash, which they could have maybe escaped your ultimate from when you were trying to land on on them to get away from you. So that's a great way to do it. If you use your ultimate too early and they still have their dash, they may be able to dash out from under you. Look like that for Cupid or Agni. They're very good at that because their dashes are relatively quick. It's happened to me a lot. It's a horrible feeling. But of course, this was a great game. We had no horrible feelings. He's not a huge damaging guy, but he does hit single targets super hard. So go ahead and enjoy your gameplay with Thanatos, guys, and let me know if you're having any issues or you're having any real successes with this build, especially Frostbound Hammer being kind of a key element here, keeping them a little bit closer to you so you can get off those basic attacks, land your number one a little bit easier because they're moving slower, and just finish off the job. Thanks so much for watching, guys. My name is Raynday. If you want to stay tuned to all this Smite content, please hit subscribe, like this video, and share it, of course. I also have a new Twitter, so if you want to follow on Twitter, I'll tell you when I'm live streaming. I'll even be Periscoping, so you can check in with me behind the scenes of what I'm doing at Raynday Gaming, and we can all stay in touch a little bit more for some more God tips, God guides, and everything Smite related and lots of fun. Thanks so much, guys. My name's Raynday. As always, never give up, never stop gaming, and I'll see you next time.